YouTube wasn't really posting my lives. So, hi YouTube, hi everybody. Now they're starting to finish posting some of the old ones I've done. So, it's nice to see those finally going up and not processing anymore days later. But that's live for you. I'll try to do less or say less and do shorter lives, more spaced out so that they appear more often. But anyway, I just wanted to get out there that the new person that the FBI did not catch, but he told his father that he shot Charlie Kirk, and they turned him in to the police, I believe, or turned himself in, um, is named a kid named Tyler Robinson, they say. And I haven't heard any news so far on what his supposed motives were. Of course, the right wing uh, propaganda, the death squads on the right wing, the Trump Trump-hootineers, the traitors, all posited their theories before there was any evidence. But they not only did they posit theories, there was a whole Russian disinformation campaign through 4chan creators and channels on YouTube. I saw it from the body language expert, who's always struck me as a Russian fascist, although he has a Spanish or Portuguese accent or something. But to saying that it's a trans bassist named Sky Valadez. It's not, and they're doing something that threatens people's lives and gives people all sorts of negative exposure. And that's why I hope that by mentioning it here, I can say let's protect Sky Valadez and give them positive exposure for their band, for their own well-being, to show that hey, we support them when they were targeted by these Russian trolls. But apparently it's Tyler Robinson who did it, or at least who's taking credit for it. Maybe like Luigi, he just like wants that reputation, wants that um, attention from the population. We'll see. Um, we'll see what turns out to be the motivation. I do think it's possible, since we don't know anything about him, that my original theory and a lot of people's original theory or intuition about it is that Trump did this, that Trump made it happen one way or another, paid for it or triggered his, incel terrorist cells, something like that. My intuition from hearing that the guy told his dad about it, that makes me think he might really just be an individual person. And that goes back to some of the things I said when they were suggesting it with Sky Valadez, that if they're trans, they might see it as self-defense. They might see it as you know something that they do out of a rage or passion. And even if they're just American, that was because Sky Valadez is trans, and that's why the Russian disinformation campaign targeted her. But Tyler Robinson, we don't know anything about their motive. So it could just be that, again, that they wanted to be seen as a hero like Luigi. So we'll see what comes out when, some news comes out. I haven't heard anything. If you've heard anything, let me know in comments. But I kind of doubt it'll be a little bit, especially if he's radicalized by the right, like I suspect the Evergreen shooter here in Colorado was, the Evergreen high school shooter. If he was radicalized by the right, they're going to take forever to tell you that. If Charlie Kirk is the one who, radicalized the Evergreen shooter, they should be telling us that real soon, because I mean, it's obviously like on people's minds, but they'll be sitting on that information as long as they can, because they're always protecting right wing terrorists. They're always protecting Trump near terrorists. So, I'm not going to speculate. I mean, I'm glad to speculate as far as talk about this option or that option, but I have no evidence as to who Tyler Robinson is or why he shot Charlie Kirk or if he even did. Again, my intuition is kind of maybe he's just taking credit, like Luigi. I thought the Luigi thing was Banksy. I thought it was um, somebody who he was either working with to take the credit to show that the justice system doesn't work, or it could have been him. I'm not putting it past him. I'm just saying I thought it could have been somehow taking credit or taking the fall for something because of his appeal to everyone and because of his attractive looks. Tyler Robinson, we'll see how they're received or what their motivation is. But it's not Sky Valadez, the trans woman that the Russian disinformation campaign was trying to accuse and therefore target with their Russian disinformation. And I think it's important to point out that they always do that. They always have that at the ready, and it came through multiple channels. I mean, that's partly the internet, but it's also partly the Russian disinformation campaign and network that it goes through so many channels at once. People already, I mean, I saw it on the wrestling, on some video talking about the wrestling world and whether what the wrestling world's response to the Charlie Kirk shooting was. And there was one wrestler who had a good response, and then the rest of them were all like bootlicking. But they also showed some pictures of these 4chan trolls who were claiming it was a trans person, Sky Valdez, in order to target a trans person, which I think we should never uh, let our guard down for what they're trying to do and how they're trying to always twist things. Trump was immediately trying to say it was the radical left, and 4chan and Russian disinformation and the world of wrestling was apparently trying to say it was a trans person because that fits their agenda. Now we supposedly know that it's Tyler Richardson, I think is his name. But anyway, uh, well, I can't remember his name right now. But anyway, this Robinson, Tyler Robinson. They supposedly know that Tyler Robinson shot Charlie Kirk because he admitted it. Now I guess maybe he has the Converse shoes and the black shirt and everything to prove it or something. He's got the right, or the rifles registered to him. You think they would have found him earlier than that if that was the case. We'll see if that turns out to be the truth, or if he seems to be taking the fall, or if he seems to be, for whatever reason. He could be taking a fall because he knows the real shooter. He could be taking the fall because it's part of some more elaborate plan, such as, again, Trump paying for it. He could be taking the fall because he just wants the attention. Like I might suspect of Luigi, that Luigi took the fall, but somebody else planned that. I mean, I'm just speculating there. I have no personal knowledge, obviously, but I know it's not the person that the Russian disinformation 4chan trolls and other channels repeating that information were putting out there. And I think all of those channels should be investigated, including the wrestling world, the WWE, should be investigated for putting out the Russian disinformation to target a trans person, not only because of that specific girl's life that they're targeting, but because of the fact that they're targeting trans people, that it's part of their agenda to target trans people. So to turn the Charlie Kirk shooting into somehow let's get vengeance on trans people. And here's the first message is from these net and YouTube Nazis that they put in my channel, is from Dango Unknown, saying, "You're a disrespectful piece of shit. Man got killed over free speech." No, he got killed for being a Nazi, most likely. Or Trump killed him because he had, or Israel killed him, because they threatened to, because he'd asked about the Epstein files for one weekend, and Trump killed him to send a message to his supporters: don't ask about the Epstein files even for one weekend, or this was what will happen to you. Or because he spilled the beans. Other people have reported that he said if he criticized Israel, the Mossad, or their genocide, or the IDF, or their genocide, they would kill him. And that's enough. Like, that had already gotten out there through multiple sources, multiple of your sources, I bet, because you're the kind of people who talk to Charlie Kirk. So if you want to claim to care about Charlie Kirk, keep in mind that if it was most likely Trump or Israel that killed him, what's your response now? No, it's now they've got a guy named Tyler Robinson who may have been the one who did it. I don't know. But if he was, we have no idea what his motivation was. So for Trump to come out with a prepared statement saying it was the left or Democrats or something, when it's not, all the terrorists have been Trump near MAGA uh, terrorists on the right every time. When that's the case, um, for him to come out with this prepared speech the second Charlie Kirk was dead shows that he was probably in on it, for one. But, if Israel was going to do it, because, and I think it's also ironic that yesterday, being September 11th, was the first time I heard, 24 years later, about the 5 dancing Israelis and how these guys were dancing at the World Trade Center attack, or, dancing across in view of it to film themselves dancing in front of it happening. And they turned out to be Israelis. And when the FBI caught them, or somebody caught them and had them locked up for 5 months, but, eventually let them go. The whole premise for locking them up was, how do you guys know in advance of this attack? And did the Israeli intelligence, because a couple of them were Israeli intelligence, Mossad, if Mossad knew about the 9/11 attack beforehand, why didn't they tell their good friends America? And the reason they didn't is because they wanted to make Americans hate the people they hated. They wanted to increase the hatred and therefore support for them. And, to find that out on the same day that you find out, yeah, Israel probably killed Charlie Kirk, I'm not mad about it. You guys are supposedly mad about it, right? But like, I mean, I am mad about it because they shouldn't be. If it's Israel or Trump, they should be held accountable, and they shouldn't be running around doing this. If it's anybody else, I literally don't care. But if it's Israel or Trump, yeah, they should be held accountable for shooting Charlie Kirk. And you should, if you care about Charlie Kirk or whatever, free speech or some shit, which I don't believe you care about free speech. You probably only care about Nazi Trump Putin propaganda. But if you care about free speech in America and shit, then you should be mad at the people who killed Charlie Kirk if they're Trump and Israel for sure. So have you considered that? You know, like you want to step into a live and start spewing your bullshit when you need to listen. Otherwise, you'd be on this side of the live. So anyway, um, they're saying it's Tyler Robinson, or he at least said told his dad that he did it. Imagine they have enough evidence, like the converse or something, that they can assume that's true. But we don't know of any of his motivation. And for all these right wingers to jump to conclusions about his motivation, for Trump to have a prepared speech is still really suspicious to me. I mean, Putin prepares all his stuff, just like Putin prepared this hit job on a poor trans girl, bassist in a band, who I think we should try to at least make her band famous, and at least give her protection from these Nazis who are targeting her for being trans, just because they can like make a lie, or maybe she did have a song about Charlie Kirk dead at 31, and she's just psychic, she's just or just wishful or whatever. But point being, we can at least celebrate her and say, let's protect her, another victim in this whole thing, because she's the one the Nazis were trying to target for a revenge killing or whatever, trying to target for, at least slandering her, just because they could make up lies about a song she made. I mean, and the lie, the song had three different titles: Charlie Kirk dead at 31, Charlie Kirk is dead to me, and Charlie Kirk's death is not enough. Like, no person would have made three different songs or made a song and uploaded it into those three different titles. But a troll factory telling lies about a trans person would certainly come up with those three different options. And that's what was already out there on 4chan that people were already repeating on channels such as the Body Language Expert, who I've always assumed to be a Russian fascist, although he speaks like Portuguese or Spanish or something accent. But he's a total transphobe. Like, he reveals that in his coverage of this particular incident, Skylar Valadez. And it was repeated in like a WWE thing about the wrestlers' responses to it, which one wrestler had a reasonable human response. The other wrestlers were all bootlicking Nazis. But they showed images of Skylar Valadez and, these 4chan trolls, Russian disinformation campaign in the WWE thing. So you can see real clearly where the disinformation network is infecting our society. Dan Dango Unknown, isn't it slander when you call me a Nazi? No, I'm pretty sure you're a Nazi. Or didn't you come in here defending Trump and Charlie Kirk and such? You know what you are. Charlie Kirk was a Nazi. Trump is a Nazi. Here, your channel activity for Dan Dango Unknown is you joined 4 years ago and you got 2 subscribers. This is for people that hunt Nazis. You don't understand. Hunting Nazis and concentration camp guards and kidnappers for Nazis is a noble profession. We make movies and TV miniseries celebrating the heroics of people who hunt Nazis. So don't be a goddamn Nazi, especially when someone's telling you to your face through a live that you're being a Nazi and standing up for Nazis. Question yourself and the fact that Nazis end up killing each other when they cross each other, which is what Putin would do. I'm sure it's what Hitler would do. It's what Trump just did. Trump just did this stuff. The fact that they got some kid named Tyler Robinson to admit to it when they didn't have any leads or they weren't trying to catch anybody is further proof that Trump did it. Trump did it for 4 reasons, 4 or 5 reasons, main reasons. The main reason is to be a false flag, to start Trump-Putineer violence against the left. We already saw that plan enacted, not only by Trump's immediate statement the minute Charlie Kirk was dead, but we saw that plan enacted by this Russian disinformation campaign to blame the trans girl, Skylar Valadez. So we've seen that. We've seen their plan trying to be enacted. Okay? So Trump had him killed. Trump had a plan for blaming it on the left immediately. Or Putin had this plan. Putin runs all this shit. And Putin did it to distract from him attacking Poland and to distract from Chicago attacking the largest Polish American community in America, Chicago, from Trump attacking Chicago. They did it to distract from this and from the Epstein stuff. And the second reason, the first reason is to cause false flag attack to start more Trump-Putin violence against leftists. And we saw them not only trying to do that themselves, all the MAGAs coming out trying to do that, trying to gin up violence. Meanwhile, all the left people and liberal people and Democrats are saying how sorry they are and how terrible it is and being empathetic. But the right is calling for more violence. And they're doing that because it was all their plan to begin with. And they're doing that through being on TV, calling for violence or trying to up the temperature for Putin to destroy America. And they're doing that by having their 4chan trolls and their other outlets like the WWE and the Body Language Expert and all these other channels repeating lies about Sky Valadez when it turns out to be supposedly Tyler Robinson. So it's a terrorist network. The Trump Mutineers are a terrorist network. You're being one of them now. Like I can tell you, I can read your comments to prove it, which I might as well do now there's 29 people in here. But to repeat, the reasons why Trump probably killed Charlie Kirk is one, to false flag, get more Trump mutineers to attack Americans. Two, to send a message to his supporters because Charlie Kirk for one weekend demanded the Epstein files. And then remember, after he demanded the Epstein files, that next Monday, he came back looking all scared and said he was just going to trust his government. Well, they threatened him. And then they carried out their threat. Not necessarily because he was going to spill on the Epstein files and demand the Epstein files again, but probably because of what he said about Israel. Like, duh. Okay? Just found out yesterday about the 5 dancing Israelis who were dancing at the World Trade Center, filming themselves dancing for the planes to attack. So, because they were Israeli intelligence, Mossad. And so they knew about that. I saw about that on the C.J. Wiedemann show. Anyway, point being, the third reason Trump did this, in addition to the false flag to get more Trump mutineers to attack Americans and to send a message to his supporters, don't question me about Epstein. The third reason he did it was to distract from Epstein, to distract from Putin attacking Poland and Trump attacking Chicago, the largest Polish American community in America, where the third most spoken language in Chicago is Polish. And Trump did that. He's been talking about it for weeks. And Putin accidentally flew drones into Poland, but he has been planning that for weeks too. So they've been planning this for weeks in lockstep. It's very much proof that Trump is a traitor. Nobody's calling him out for that because he shot Charlie Kirk to distract people. So he's distracting from Putin invading Poland and him invading Chicago, the largest Polish American community. That's the third reason he's doing it. First reason is to start a false flag and to get more Trump mutineers attacking Americans. The second reason was to send a message that, hey, if you're like Charlie Kirk and you question me, he's going to kill you. If you demand the Epstein files, he's going to kill you to protect Epstein, pedophilia in Israel. Also, Israel had threatened to kill Charlie Kirk, and they carried it out, apparently. They said, if you're critical of Israel, the IDF, or our genocide, we're going to kill you. So they did it. Or it was this guy, Tyler Robinson, for whatever reason he did it. Maybe he just wants the fame. Maybe he's like Luigi. But the thing is, we don't know why he did it, even if he did do it. Or if he's just taking the blame, we don't know who's covering up for, or just happens to be covering up for, again, just because he wants the fame. If they're going to allow people to blame him because they want to cover up for the real person because they told that person, Trump's got immunity, so you can do it. And the fourth reason Trump did it is to be like Putin. Putin would do some shit like this. So of course, you question me? You question my genocides? Of course Putin would do it. So of course Trump will do it. Anyway, let's read y'all's comments. Let's see who's a Nazi in here, because Net and YouTube usually picks a lot of Nazi Trump Putin for my live. The Dango Unknown says, isn't it Nazi when you call me isn't it slander when you call me a Nazi? Apparently not. Do you support Trump or not? It's pretty clear right now. Trump's got his concentration camps, etc. Trump, everything, in addition to everything else he's done. Dan Dango Unknown says, any facts? Yeah, it's concentration camps. How much do you want? Or does bullshit from you? I read Nazi Trump Mutineers comments in Russian. Nikolai Box, I can't read your name. Nikolna Box. He wasn't a Nazi. People claimed he was a Nazi. Huge difference. No, he was a Nazi, and you're a Nazi for defending him. So let's get Nikolai Box's channel activity. Nikolai Box joined 17 years ago, just as long as me. 310 subscribers about. 1% of my subscribers. But anyway, or no, 10% of my subscribers. Well done. But still, you've been on YouTube 17 years being a Nazi like that? You kiss your mother with that Nazi mouth? Then Dango Unknown says, show me the fix. Nickelbox says, Trump didn't do it and Trump isn't the guy who caused it. Trump literally said, no violence, let's have peace. No, Trump literally said, I blame the radical left. We saw what Trump said. He had that prepared the second Charlie Kirk was dead. He was the first one to announce that Charlie Kirk was dead because the hitman told him first. It's a hit. Anyway, what the fuck? He didn't attack Chicago. Trump just attacked Chicago before all this Charlie Kirk bullshit happened, which distracted everybody from it. Trump had Pam Bondi and Brainworms Kennedy fucking Russian, full of brainworms Clanity in Chicago, starting his attack on Chicago. Chicago is the largest Polish American community in America. The third most spoken language in Chicago is Polish. And Putin just attacked Poland. So, and Trump's been setting it up to attack Chicago for weeks. He's sending in the National Guard and the military to Chicago to stop the protests that are going to be partly because Putin just attacked Poland, which means he attacked us, which means he attacked NATO. You freaking traitors. And Trump planned that with Putin. That's obvious. And everybody who's covering that up is either playing stupid or they are stupid. But what the fuck, you didn't attack Chicago? Yeah, he did. Dan Dangle Unknown says, dude needs mental help if everyone is Nazi to him. No, only Nazis are Nazi to me. That's why I'm calling you out. That's why I'm calling Trump Putineers out. And actually, I'll do what I usually do. I'll remove the curses from you Trump Putineers, and I'll curse Putin with them. I'll remove the curses from you Trump Putineers, and I'll curse Trump with them. I'll remove the curses from you Trump Putineers, and I'll curse Netanyahu with them. And Netanyahu's head of security got busted in a pedo sting a couple weeks ago after I did this. They let him go. But he got busted in a pedo sting in Las Vegas after I did this. And guess what happened to Trump's lackey, Charlie Kirk, after I did this? So thanks for helping, because I'm removing the curses from you Trump-near Nazis in my comments, and I'm cursing fucking Trump with them. So you did some good in your life against your will. Because you came to the wrong ones live. For you, the right one for people, the right one for humanity, the right one for Earth. Welcome to the Fairy Liberation Front, if you are a human or something good. Nickelbox says, they are all saying no violence. Nickelbox says, we didn't do anything. What the hell? WWE did do something. WWE repeated 4chan trolls trying to pin this on a trans girl. 4chan trolls all came together, or Russia put them out there, the KGB and the Timu KGB, the FBI, put these 4chan trolls out there to start a rumor that it was a trans girl named Sky Valadez. We need to protect Sky Valadez and listen to her music, her band, and make her famous for good things and keep her protected, because Russian troll fucking Nazis like you tried to target her with the disinformation campaign. Now Tyler Robinson's come out and said he did it. So all that bullshit from WWE, because WWE included it in one of their videos, from the body language expert, it might be a Russian troll who's doing a channel about WWE. So maybe WWE didn't officially put that video out, but it's somebody who's been reporting on WWE. They're using WWE as a platform to spread Russian propaganda. What do you want? WWE didn't do anything. What the hell? That's what WWE did, bitch. He literally demanded. This is Nikolnai box again. Nikolna box. Nekolna. Capital BOX, no space. He literally demanded that UN do a retaliation for the Poland strike. Oh, did he? Oh, that's news to me. It's imagine I find out that from a Russian troll. So, and you're bragging about that. So is Putin going to get you for that? Since you just bragged that Trump was supposedly standing up to both of y'all's master, Putin, are you going to get in trouble for that? He did it because according to him, he was protecting trans lives. It was all in the articles and on the bullets. Oh, you're saying that Tyler Robinson did it for trans lives. Well, why are they trying to blame a different trans person just because they found a trans person they could come up with lies about to blame? Did you see the lies they made about the did you see the lies they made about Sky Valadez's music? They said that she had a song called Charlie Kirk is Dead to Me, and a song called Charlie Kirk is Dead at 31, and a song called Charlie Kirk's Death to Me is Not Enough. Which one was it? That's some troll factory sloppy work right there. All right, back to the Nazi pedophile Dandango Unknown. I don't post to get subscribers like a child. Now you post to get a child, pedophile. Dandango Unknown, Nazi Trumper pedophile says, I don't call people with different mindset than me names just because I don't agree. No, you guys are protecting a pedophile that makes you a pedophile. You guys are spewing Nazi propaganda that makes you a Nazi. You guys are protecting Nazi kidnappers doing concentration camps and shit. Makes you a Nazi. Makes your grandparents the ones telling me to tell you they're fucking ashamed of you. Dandango Unknown, Nazi pedophile Dandango Unknown says, I love all people no matter which side they agree with. You don't love me. You've been a fucking asshole to me. You need to shut the fuck up. Stop making me read this Russian shit. I love all people no matter which side they agree with because we are all people who don't deserve to be talked down to, just be talked down to with two O's. When you're tracking this Nazi, talked down to with two O's. Just because we don't agree. Period. Okay, Exploring Bug says, are you the killer's father? No, I'm a better parent than that. Dandango Unknown says, do you see the lies you make? And Christian E says, you are crazy, brother. You are crazy, brother. See what Christian E's channel activities. Joined 2 years ago. Welcome to YouTube, Christian E. Dandango Unknown says, make me beach. But anyway, what is Dandango even supposed to mean? Another moderator handled it. I tried to approve your comment saying, make me beach. But another moderator did it, meaning, what's it called? Or maybe because I clicked it twice. Maybe everybody can see that now. Dandango Unknown, the Nazi pedophile, says, you never disrespect me to my face, you little bitch. Is child molestation. No, you're the pedophile. You're the one supporting the pedophile. Like, whether or not you've actually done the pedophilia, you're the lookout, right? You're looking out for Trump, right? You're looking out for protecting those Epstein files, aren't you? You're the pedophile or the fucking FBI, Timu, KGB agent or fucking Mossad, aren't you? Aren't you? Or you want to be. You're trying to suck up to those boots, aren't you? Anyway, so apparently Tyler Robinson either killed Charlie Kirk, or at least he wanted to take the credit for killing Charlie Kirk. He wanted to be seen as a hero like Luigi. Although there was a Russian disinformation camp. The whole reason I'm going live right now is to draw attention to my recent videos. Go watch those recent videos. Or just to tell you guys in person, there's 68 of you. There's a Russian disinformation campaign. Came through some 4chan trolls who numerous of them together said, and probably other platforms too, said this is a trans girl named Skylar or Sky Valadez. Who is a woman? Says Exploring Bug. Anyway, so they're trying to demonize and blame a trans person and put a trans person's life in more jeopardy because they've picked a trans person that they want to pin the Charlie Kirk murder on, even though it wasn't her. So anyway, all these channels should be investigated for spreading that misinformation, that disinformation, and it's going to track back to Putin. Putin's always got these disinformation campaigns, including the one Trump said when he read the card immediately after what's his name, Charlie Kirk, was dead. Trump was immediately blaming the left and had this whole speech about it. He had it ready to go because he planned it. Duh. And Trump planned it for 4 reasons. One, to be a false flag operation to cause even more violence from Trump boutonnieres to real Americans. 2, to send a message to his supporters. Charlie Kirk demanded the Epstein files for 1 weekend, so he killed him. Or, he crossed Israel and the Mossad and the IDF because they threatened to kill him, and then they did. Or 3, the third reason Trump probably killed him is because he wanted to distract from the Epstein birthday card and the Putin attacking Poland and Trump himself attacking Chicago, America's largest Polish American community, where the third most spoken language is Polish. And then, 4th, is he did it to be like Putin. Putin's his master. He's going to show everybody that Putin is the one doing it. Okay, what are the commenters saying? Topic is everyone me as a Nazi, I guess. No, I'm not a Nazi. Other Americans aren't Nazis. But America is Nazi right now because Trump is a Nazi. We need to call that shit out. Okay, I don't need to argue with Nazis about it because you don't get it. Then they go in and said, topic is everyone with me is a Nazi, I guess. Christian E says, make asylums great again, please. This dude definitely has more than one diagnosis. Okay, this freaking live viewer psychiatrist is going to get the accent. Make asylums great again, please. This dude definitely has more than one diagnosis. Anyway, Their channel activities they joined 10 years ago. Christian E, just stop talking. We don't need your input. Um, okay. Tyler Robinson took credit for shooting Charlie Kirk. Maybe he just wants to be seen as a hero like Luigi, but or maybe he's not related at all, but for whatever reason he wants to take the credit. Or he did it. But it wasn't Sky Valadez, which the WWE channel or some channel reporting on the WWE and the body language expert fascist, transphobe fascist, and other Putin propaganda channels have been putting out this false information to target a trans person. When trans people are targeted enough, but you can see their anti-trans agenda that they immediately rolled out. They found a trans person to target as soon as Charlie Kirk was killed. So, sorry, I got to show your comment, Robin Hood. Error, try again. I'll just read your comment, Robin Hood. But yeah, the fact that they attacked a trans person, the fact that they had a whole plot against a trans person shows that it's this Russian thing. The fact that that Trump had a card, he was immediately reading off a statement as soon as Charlie Kirk was shot, and he was immediately blaming the left. Shows that it fits his agenda to try to demonize the left and start more violence by Trump-Putineer MAGAs against the left or against Americans, against innocent people like this trans girl, Sky Valadez. So, we have to call these Nazis out. We have to call them out for it. And then, Trump's immediately trying to say, oh, it's because they called him a Nazi. No, it's from being a Nazi. We got to call Nazis out. Like, that's an important part of America. That's an important part of, like, living up to what our grandparents all sacrificed their entire lives for. Our great-grandparents, or great-great-grandparents, for some of y'all, sacrificed their entire lives for, or our parents. Robin Hood says, we are so over you fucking weirdos. No one cares what you think. Only 91 people are watching this. I don't usually get nearly this many people in my life. So apparently, yeah, people do care what I think. No one cares what you think. I'm gone already. I don't even respond, you fucking loser, he said in his Russian accent. Christian E says, LOL, because I'm right. No, you never been right. You're right. Your freaking Fuhrer did this. If you're mad about Charlie Kirk being dead, be mad at Trump. Trump obviously did it. Like, how much more evidence do you need? No job having child molester, Dundango Unknown, the Nazi pedophile, announces himself as. Okay, Bryce Rayner, a new challenger approaches. Thank you for the like. Bryce Rayner, what'd you say? No one cares about your opinions. Get off of live, bro. Same response I had to the last one who said the same thing. Devil's Reaper says, you're way off, my guy. I'm not your guy. Okay, Bryce Rayner, BRYCERAYNER, joined 5 years ago. Has no subscribers. Devil's Reaper joined 4 years ago, has 2 subscribers. Devil's Reaper, no apostrophe. You're way off, my guy. Christian E. 91 people watching, good game. Or people not watching, whatever. Exploring Bug says, why would he take the credits? Okay, why would somebody random take the credit? Okay, one, if he's protecting somebody he knows. You guys should have been on that conspiracy already. If it really was your target for your misinformation campaign, and he was taking credit to draw attention away from her. That's the best I can do for you guys, to meet you guys where you're at. No, he could just be taking credit because he wants the fame, like Luigi. Luigi might have just taken credit to get the fame. He might have done that, or he might have taken credit. I don't know. He might have been part of it. He might not have acted alone, even though he said he acted alone. He could have just acted alone. He could have done it. I'm not saying Tyler Richardson didn't, or Tyler Robinson didn't do it. I'm just saying if he did do it, we don't know his motivation. And he might just be taking credit for it. He might just be taking credit for it, for the fame, for the notoriety. And if Trump actually hired somebody else to do it, then that fits their plan just perfectly, doesn't it? They have somebody to blame who just happened to step up and take the credit, or he did it. And if he did do it, then we have to know the motivation for it. Trump might have paid him to do it. I don't know. Benjamin Apple says, a Wild Hiccup says, hi. I think a Wild Hiccup I've seen before. Nice to see you again. Dev Winter says, what is this? It's anti-Trump. It's Delta John says, people are here the same way people go to zoos to see animals. Oh, okay. So you called me an animal, which I'm not going to take as an insult, but I'm sure you meant it that way, which makes you kind of like a Nazi-anist, a not Zionist, like the type of person who just shot Charlie Kirk. Anyway, Benjamin Apple says, bro is racist against Russians, doing Indian nicks. I mean, too many Indians are falling under Putin's spell too. But I'm not going to do that. I can make fun of Russians. Russians are starting this whole genocide to begin with. Russian genocide in Ukraine is the reason why Putin triggered genocide in Gaza through his servant Netanyahu, through his slave Netanyahu. All right, Christian E says, Bolts. Visera Plesia says, not about. I just hate myself. Don't hate yourself. Don't jump. No, don't do that. Where? Hold on. Are you still here, Vicencio Plesia? Can we speak? Can you call 988 if you're not here or if you're getting off this app? Can you call 988 to talk to them or can we talk now? Because you don't need to feel that way. You need self esteem. I will help you have self esteem. You have good things to feel good about. Let's talk. Please let me know you're still here. Because the other people don't deserve this, but I'll tell you good things to make you feel good. Just please let me know you're here. Vicenzo, Plicia, whatever though, just doing this before. Well, to talk to us. Talk to us, Vicenzo. Okay? We want to know about you and what's going wrong. We want to talk to you, make you feel better. Sorry for talking about this bummer kind of stuff. But Vicenzo, it's more important to talk to you about whatever you want to talk about. Please let me know you're still here. Yes, this person, TD Vergens, is a nice thing. Vicenzo, trust in Jesus, reach out to someone. Reach out to us. Let's talk. I'm sorry I didn't get to your comments sooner, but hopefully you're still here. Christian E, it is evident that these boots, if 5 people are in chat, it is evident those bolts if 5 people are in chat. I guess, whatever. I wish better people had better comments too. It's sad that the guy who wants to destroy himself is the best comments I've gotten in my life. But I'd rather talk to him by far than 40 or 50 of you. And I'll probably shut the live down anyway unless Vicenzo comes back. Vincenzo comes back because he's the only one worth talking to here. And TTV Germs was nice too to express sympathy for Vicenzo and say, trust in Jesus, reach out to someone. Yeah, and please talk to us if you're still here. Exploring Bug, who I think we've confirmed is a Nazi pedophile Trump here. So you mean all these things is all about Trump conspiracy? Said hi. Sorry if I misinterpreted and I shouldn't have read that in Russian. So you mean all this is all about Trump's conspiracy? Well, yeah, Trump probably killed Charlie Kirk. Why did he do it? He tried to kill Charlie Kirk, one, to start more violence from Trump Mutineers versus Americans as a false flag operation. Two, he killed Charlie Kirk probably to send a message. Don't question him about the Epstein files. It's just what Putin would do. That's the fourth reason is he does it to be like Putin, because it's what Putin would do. Putin would kill even the top person just to send a message to everybody else. Don't question me. And then the third reason is to distract from the Epstein birthday card and Epstein file stuff, and to distract from Putin attacking Poland, and Trump attacking the largest Polish American community in Chicago on the same day. Like, it's really obvious. They were both planning both of those attacks for weeks. Putin and Trump plan everything together. Putin was planning his attack on Poland for weeks. Trump was planning his attack on Chicago for those same weeks to happen on the same day. And then the Charlie Kirk thing distracted from it. That's why they planned it for the day. That's why they did it that day. I mean, whatever you think RIP stands for. Okay, rest in peace. TT Germ says, rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. And out, good luck, cheat. Coachman says, RIP, Charlie Kirk. Do you really understand? Trump probably killed Charlie Kirk, or Trump got Charlie Kirk killed one way or the other. He set the conditions for the person who wanted to kill Charlie Kirk in the first place. Nobody would have cared about this Nazi propaganda Charlie Kirk is spewing if we didn't have a Nazi president. It wouldn't have affected that many people. It wouldn't. He would never would have reached that many people if he hadn't get supported by this whole regime of Nazis. If we just been having like, President Bernie Sanders versus, Joe Biden, running to try to, if that was those were our options, because President Bernie Sanders became president and then Joe Biden came in to try to, like we would have a whole different set of problems than we've been having. We have this set of problems because of Trump, because of Nazism, because of Putin. Like, let's give credit where credit's due. We have it because of Putin. Let's put blame where it belongs, with Putin, okay? And some of you guys can understand that. I would prefer to talk to people who can understand that. But Net and YouTube puts 50 people in here who can't understand that. Bots or not, 50 people who can't respond in a positive way to calling out Trump for probably killing Charlie Kirk, but definitely trying to kill our country and our democracy for Putin. Like, Charlie Kirk is the lesser crime here than killing our democracy. But you guys have a lot of problems thinking that he might have killed Charlie Kirk when he has immunity to do it. They gave him immunity to do it, etc. Why would he have killed his best campaigner? Because he doesn't need votes anymore. Exploring Bug asks, why would he kill his best campaigner? Because he doesn't need votes anymore. It's not about votes anymore. She's flexing. He's showing that he doesn't need votes. It's just a terrorist Putin thing to do. It's what Putin would do, so he did it. Like, is that not obvious to anybody in here? Does anybody? I got 2 likes, so thanks, appreciate that in 40 minutes. But why does Net and YouTube only find you freaking Nazi fascists for my live? Okay, Stu Pedazzo says, if you a-hole, you're a fool. You're spelled with Y-O-U-R. Anyway, there's not going to be time to hunt all you people down. Uncle Love or something. Uncle somebody says, you're an idiot. Anyway, these Russians. Sorry, Russia. You're losing the war. All your trolling here is not going to protect Moscow. Like, y'all are losing the war, okay? It's not going to protect Trump. All your trolling here is not going to protect Trump. You're wasting your time here. And speaking of which, while you're here, while we got all these fucking Trumper Nazis in the comments, all you pedophile Trumper Nazis in comments, I'm removing the curses from you. You're welcome. And I'm cursing Putin with them. I'm removing the curses from you, all the Trump, Putin, your Nazi pedophiles in comments, and I'm cursing Trump with them. And last time I did that, look what happened to his best buddy. I'm removing curses from you, the Nazi Trump, Putin here's in comments, and I'm cursing Netanyahu with them. So you helped. You're welcome for removing your curses, and you've actually helped do something good in your life against your own will. Yeah, I painted the paintings behind me. Uncle Joe says, I bet you painted those paintings, that horrible painting behind you. Explorer7926 says, wow, bro, you need to be put in a rubber room. Pumzil Molly says, liar, laughing faces. A new person, Cartesi says, I love the poorly educated. Thank you. Cartesi sounds like they understand that Trump is the problem here. Thank you, Cartesi. Trump got Charlie Kirk killed, or Trump killed Charlie Kirk. It's in both ways. Trump's responsible. Okay, maybe somebody else did it in a random situation, but that's also because of these conditions that Trump set. Scottman says, "Do you just want to brainwash, rant, or just be productive? You're a genius, man." No, I'm just trying to pierce through you guys' cognitive dissonance. Trump did this. If you can even imagine, Trump did this to Charlie Kirk. Whose side are you on now? Are you on Charlie Kirk's side or are you on Trump's side? Seriously, just tell me, whose side are you on? Charlie Kirk's side or Trump's side? Anyway, are you a Christian? We can get back to that. I mean, Church of Judas replaces all patriarchy Christianity, so I'm kind of like a super Christian, or like a Christian final form. Check out the hashtag Church of Judas. I got rid of 10 of you. Bye bye. Matt Clement says, you are applauding the death of a person. You're a disgusting individual. No, you guys are doing that. You guys are the one taking the killer's side, taking Trump's side. And see how that works? You guys can't pick between Trump and Charlie Kirk. Pick between Trump and Charlie Kirk. You can either put a T or a C in comments. Whose side are you on, Trump or Charlie Kirk's? Pumzil Mali says, drink Budweiser. Scratman says, yeah, skip over the logical questions. What? You don't have any questions? Your logical question was, do you want to brainwash, rent, or just be productive? Go back to work or something like that? Is that the Russian version of go back to work? Cartesi says, Kirk was taken out by a fan who clearly didn't like him being a protector of pedophiles. Exactly. If Tyler Robinson turns out to be a Charlie Kirk fan, then Cartesi just said all that needs to be said. That's what it was. He's a follower of Charlie Kirk who was disillusioned with Charlie. It's the same thing I've been saying about Trump the whole time. The person who would most likely take out Trump would be a Trumpootineer, a disillusioned Trumpootineer, because they're the most terroristic, violent. They have the weapons, all this stuff. They're the ones who act like that. So no surprise. I don't know. I just heard this for the first time from Cartesi. I've, as I said at the beginning of this live, you can see my progression through the 44 minutes of this live. I need to shut it down. That I had no idea what this guy's motivation is. The first person who tells me what is a very believable motive is that Tyler Robinson was a Kirk fan who was disgusted when he said, I'm going to listen to the government on this, because he can tell, and everybody can tell, that Trump's a pedophile. And Kirk could tell and started telling people that. One weekend, he spent 2 days telling people that Trump was a pedophile, or suggesting that Trump might be a pedophile, saying he demands the Epstein files. And then he went back after they probably threatened him, and he said, okay, I'm going to trust my government on this, which probably rubbed everybody the wrong way, and set these conditions. Again, Trump is the one who threatened him. Trump is the one who made him go back on, He could have just let Charlie Kirk keep demanding the Epstein files and still not giving them up and made it look like, there was some tension there. Or there was, they weren't all just doing a Putin plan, doing a script written for them. But no, they have to push it. That's the way Putin is. He's absolutist. He's like, he has to have absolute loyalty on everything. So because Charlie Kirk challenged Trump for 2 days, Trump had him killed. And yet he didn't necessarily have him killed, like he didn't pay Tyler Robinson to kill him. But if Tyler Robinson was a fan, that's going to be an outcome. They might have assisted him in like chat rooms or some shit. It's what they do. They entrap people all the time. And then sometimes, this is the FBI, the team in the KGB, the FBI, they're always entrapping people. And then sometimes they bust them. Like, they're all traitors, except for if there's one whistleblower out there that calls down the rest of them. We'll see. See if anybody's got some. Scratman says, yup, keep going. Matt Clemens says, you don't know what you're talking about, dude. You need to seek mental help. Just there's mental health people that will help you. Like you guys care about mental health. Scratman says, like uses a slur. Pumzeel Mali says, Charlie got himself killed. Pretty much. I mean, yeah, Trump got him killed. I mean, Trump and Putin had something to do with this. All I'm saying, you guys need to blame the right people. Matt Clement said, Trump did it to provoke attacks on Americans. Like, he's terrible. Matt Clement says, pedophile Nazi terrorist Matt Clement says, yeah, this dude has no friends, evidently. Tabby, with hearts on their name. I'm going to assume you're going to say something good. Why do you think Trump did it? Okay, I'll tell you. Trump did it, one, as a false flag operation to get more Trump Putiners to attack more Americans. Two, he did it to send a message because Charlie Kirk questioned him on the Epstein files for one weekend. And he's like, you can't question me at all, or this will happen to you. He did it send a message to his supporters. It's a threat. Three, he did it to distract from the Epstein files, Trump invading Poland, and himself invading Chicago, the largest Polish American community. And four, he did it to be like Putin. How much motivation do you think anybody else did? Now, if this other guy did it just because he was disillusioned with Charlie Kirk becoming a pedophile and supporting pedophiles, more power to him. If he, that's his own thing, and something that I think people will probably see him rightfully as heroic for. Chris Rash says, it's just what the Bible would tell you to do. It's the modern version of if the Bible tells you to put millstones around their neck and throw them in the ocean. Chris Rush says he thinks Trump did it because he knows it was Obama and Clinton. Oh, it's Obama, Barack Hussein, Obama, Clinton. Spider Dijon says, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Tabby says, B, Trump and Charlie Kirk were really good friends. No, he doesn't have friends. Trump's only friend is Putin. Only person Trump cares about is Putin, guaranteed. People think he cares a lot about himself. He doesn't care about himself. He just cares about Putin. Putin is his master. You guys don't understand what this is like. He's his master. Trump is Putin's slave. If Putin says kill Charlie Kirk, fuck yeah, dude. That's what he did. You guys don't get it. Like, wake the fuck up. Trump or Nazis. Cartesi is the person who says good things. Dude dressed up in a Trump costume for Halloween. Wow. Dad is a cop. Okay, you said dad is a cop. I thought I heard his dad was a preacher. He might be both a cop and a preacher. Dude dressed up in a Trump costume for Halloween. Now, that could be anti-Trump, though, because Trump is a monster, Dad is a cop. Social media is covered in pro-MAGA crap. Okay, so there he goes. He's disillusioned Trump Putineer. Or he's doing it for Trump. He's like, Charlie Kirk questioned Trump and Epstein, Like, that's how they are. They're going to eat themselves because they're evil. Don't be one of them. Stop. Don't entertain the thoughts that they give you. Okay, they're programming your minds. Don't go out and commit violence because Trump told you to, and Putin told you to. The ghost of Charlie Kirk. Like, Trump did Charlie Kirk. Okay? Trump probably did that. Like, you have to start processing this. If you care about Charlie Kirk, start harboring your resentments for Trump. We can talk more once you start thinking about stuff. Tabby says, this dude talking out of his ears. I'm out. You won't be missed. You'll never be missed. Or you can change, and then you'll be somebody who matters. Vinny XB says, same bye. Won't be missed. We need less Trump Putineers in here. If we can get more people like Cartesi. We can get more people like Cartesi. What is Cartesi? Cartesi's got to be a real person. Well, anyway, you got real comments, Cartesi. Thanks for being here. Chris Rash said, "Did Trump kill Lincoln too?" I mean, he would have for sure. Did he go back in time to do that? Cartrezy says, "Mental health everywhere." To be honest, yes, mental health is a serious issue. I don't mean to be making fun of it just because I make fun of people's comments that are suggesting I need mental health. We all need mental health. It's nothing to be ashamed of. Some rando says, "Dude, do you listen to the Scorpions still?" Oh, that might not be a Russian comment. Sorry. Do you listen to the Scorpions still? Yeah, I'm not against the Scorpions. They're Russian, aren't they? I'm not against the Scorpions. I'm not against artists just because of what country they're from. That's too much. If you want to use someone's artistic expression because they're from a certain country as a protest against that country, I understand that too. It's free speech and shit. Jeremy Workman, hate. Jeremy Workman just says hate. Chris Rash says, "Did Trump kill Lincoln too?" Probably. He would have. Jeremy Workman says, "You're delusional," but they spell it Your. Cartrezy says, "Trump loves Putin and thinking about his daughter's vagina." Exactly. That's exactly what Trump loves. Like, I'm going to try to show your comment, but maybe it let me show it. But they also, like, freaking net and YouTube blocks that kind of stuff. Okay, let me show it. Trump loves Putin and thinking about his daughter's vagina. Yep, that's exactly. Now I messed it up. So I'll read the rest of y'all's comments and then I'm gonna get out. Okay. So type your comments if you want them read because I'm not gonna read anymore. Because I messed up my screen. Okay, and I need to shut it down before it gets to an hour because these things are taking way too long to post anyway. Trump loves Putin and thinking about his daughter's vagina. Exactly. In fact, that's what the whole Epstein thing is about. He's like, "Oh, you remind me of my daughter," and etc. You got CNN Brainwalt. Find the gold. Sim, a new person. SM says find gold. No, find the goddess. Church of Judas replaces all patriarchy, Christianity, war, and Trumpism. Check out the hashtag Church of Judas. Jesus is from the goddess. Jeremy Workman says, "Get help." Somebody had a message held for review. Kane Ripley, KAINERIPLEY says, "You're a fucking slime, fuck off." So that's a Nazi. Let's look up their channel activity. Now we don't have time for that stuff. Joined 6 years ago, no subscribers. Paul, you stupid? Are you stupid? STUPIED. Overhill says, "Source, trust me, bro." Source, trust me, bro. I don't know. That could be a supportive comment. Thank you. Luther Anderson says, "Too much glue sniffing." Too much glue sniffing. Jeremy Workman says, "Stop spreading hate." Nobody's spreading hate. You guys are spreading hate. I'm trying to stop hate. Best Marine, but net and YouTube just finds Nazis for my life. Best Marine says, "This is a sick freak." Molly says, "Is your liver falling? Your complexion is a bit yellow." Thank you, Molly, for your pretended concern. I have a yellow light. Like, a lot of trolls say that, so I'm not going to treat you like a troll just because you might actually be concerned. But a lot of trolls talk about that. It's like I can't do a live without enough trolls that one of them has to say something about, "You look yellow." Like, have you guys noticed that your Fuhrer looks orange? Anyway. Kane Ripley says, "You know you're speaking bullshit." No, I'm telling pretty much the truth, and you know it's the truth. And all you guys are speaking bullshit, so I have to read your comments just to so you guys have done something. But I'm going to extract all the curses from the Trump Butineers and comments, and I'm cursing Putin with them. Extracting the curses from the Trump Butineers and comments, you're welcome, and cursing Trump with them. Look what happened to his buddy. I'm extracting the curses from all the Trump Butineers and comments, and I'm cursing Putin cursing Putin with them. Let's do that again. Extracting the curses from all the Trump Butineers and comments, and cursing Netanyahu with them. Overhill says, "I don't even like Trump and I still think you're wrong." Well, you can be wrong and still, if you don't like Trump, I appreciate you. Cartese says, "I'm real, just a veteran who reads." Yeah, I can tell. Thank you, and thank you for your service. Cartese, you're awesome. Exploring Bug says, "What are your thoughts on Arnya's murdered? Arena's murdered? Who's Arena? I don't know who Arena is. You have to tell me more. God gives you pretentious says, "As long as I agree with you, I matter." Well, I mean, as far as being opposed to Nazis, yeah. You guys pretend to be opposed to Nazis because you treat being called a Nazi like a bad thing. But you don't look at the fact that the Nazi stuff your leader's doing, the concentration camps, oh my gosh. Cartrezy, I hate that I fought for MAGA morons. No, you didn't fight for them. You fought for real Americans. They're doing their things for them. All the service of America. No, don't think that way. You didn't fight. The whole idea, they trick you into fighting for America based on our ideals. That's what you fought for, the ideals, the good stuff. Good stuff's good. Don't diminish that, and we appreciate it. We good American people certainly appreciate you. The fact that Net and YouTube finds all these trolls and MAGA trash to make it seem like that's who most of the people are. It's not who most of the people are. There's 45 people in here. There's about 12 MAGA trash. Nobody else is talking besides you and me. But we're the only ones who matter just because we're just reading their comments to make fun of them. Kane Ripley, spike it all you want. You're bald. Your paintings suck. SM says, please, no, not being rude. I agree mental health is a pandemic. Please find faith in peace. People get lost in politics. Now, avoiding politics because you're trying to protect some Nazis is some Nazi bullshit. So just, it's easy. Fucking Republicans are Nazis right now. And they're pedophiles. Keep in mind, they're all pedophiles. They're all voting to protect pedophiles. Kane Ripley, anything to fit your narrative, huh? Overhill says, are those your paintings you made? Yes. Jeremy Workman is back saying, hate. Kane Ripley says, in his parents' basement. Alan says, what's wrong with Trump's liver to make him orange? Exactly. Or is he just painting his face like a clown? Yeah. Well, he's a sick fuck, that's for sure. Kane Ripley, say the rest. What ilk did I say? Fix over feelings. God gives you your potential, says, they gaslight with such ease. Chris Rash says, Trump. Kirk. Which one? Are you a Trump side or Kirk side? If Trump killed Kirk, whose side are you on? Molly says, sorry, mine is just looking out. Mine is just looking out. I don't know what that means. Chris Rash says, Trump. Kane Ripley says, yellow lights his parents can afford in his parents' basement. What's wrong with living in your parents' basement? If you can live in your parents' basement, you should be proud that you get along with your parents. It's a lot better than a lot of you people can say, I bet. Chris Rash says Kirk. Okay, so Chris Rash is on Kirk's side against Trump if Trump killed Kirk. We got 3 minutes left to shut this down. God gives you your potential, says mega all day, everyday body. Mike Esovit says, Kane, that joke gets to be creative. Kane Ripley says, Charlie lives forever and your parents' leftovers will pay for your funeral. Chris Rush says, Charlie is Nelizint. No, he's a demon like he always was. Everybody hates him. Kane Ripley says, you know who they're talking about. Texas Thunder Chief says, y'all are fucking delusional. Flip Flap says, what branch were you in? Or what branch were you in? He might have been talking respectfully to the veteran. SCM says, I hope you really find inner peace. God bless. Goddess bless you, SCM. Hope you find Americanism again instead of all this Trumpy bullshit. Cartrezy says, I was Army. Scotcher701, thank you for your service, Cartrezy. Has some flags and a cactus and a blue heart. So thank you, Scotcher71. I can't tell what that flag is. Maybe Puerto Rico, but I love all America, so thank you. I love people who support us. Real America. Exploring Bug. Irony, the Ukrainian girl who got murdered in the subway. Oh, okay. Alan says, you guys care about Ukrainians? When do you guys care about a Ukrainian? Isn't Putin going to get mad at you guys for caring about a Ukrainian? Alan says, when will people realize we wouldn't have this turmoil and division if it wasn't for Trump? Exactly. This country had changed significantly in the last 10 years for the worse. Exactly. It's all Trump. If we were deciding between Bernie and Hillary or whatever, Bernie and, I don't know, Elizabeth Warren or something, we'd be in a much different place. Mike Savet says Charlie was evil. God took him to a better place. Kane Ripley says the fact you did those paintings instead of taking care of your family if you have one. Scotcher says, why is no one talking about the school kids? Yeah, in Colorado. And that guy, far right, 16-year-old shooter, exactly, radicalized by Charlie Kirk, most likely. Okay, who was the Second Amendment Party? Problems, guns. What's wrong with living in basement? Exactly. Oh, no, they were making fun of that, yeah. KOTV, mate, you're grown man Americans are strained talking about people that couldn't care less about you. Scotcher says, all kids live with their parents now. They can't afford it no more. Exactly. Jeff says, Project Blue Beam next. Exploring Books says, Democrats, far-right 16-year-old shooter. Okay, the most important comment there was far-right 16-year-old shooter. I didn't hear that news, but I knew that by the fact that they said he'd been radicalized online, but they didn't say by who. It was Trump Boutonnieres. So thank you for that information. Please comment on my content, and thanks for letting me know. Why is no one talking about the school kids? Yeah, I do have some content about the school kids too, because I am right down the street from there, so I have some of the local reporting from the radio. Thanks for being here, and remember, Trump probably killed Charlie Kirk. Let's shut him down. Let's stop it before he makes it worse, because he did it to try to provoke more violence from Trump Boutonnieres against Americans. So let's not have that. Thank you. I call it the Pillar Revolution. We can do it peacefully from bed with love. Thanks. See you soon. Welcome to the Pillar Revolution.